Hey, what's up? We have a new chapter of Attack on Titan. Sorry it took me so long to get to this. I totally, it like slipped past me. I didn't know it had come out. I think it came out about 2 weeks ago, so hopefully that isn't too long a wait for people. I think it's gonna be worth the wait. This chapter seems absolutely crazy. So in the last one, we went from first a very stirring breakdown of literally everyone's perspective around the battlefield as Eren was decapitated, segueing abruptly into a gigantic Gynex type ending, Evangelion-esque space outside of the world with strange metaphorical representations of core elements of the series lore. There was a discussion, the long-awaited conclusion of is Eren sincerely helping Zeke? Is Eren going along with the voluntary extinction plan? If not, what is his other plan? He revealed that, of course, he rejects Zeke's ideals. Zeke, in turn, showed that he was just pretending to be at Eren's mercy and was actually in control of this entire weird pocket dimension or whatever this is. And then they started in the Ghost of Christmas Past routine, going through their father's memories, Zeke trying to convince Eren of his ideals, to cast aside his father's ambitions. And then, right at the end, yet another twist that their father seemed to become aware that they were watching them in their memories, seemed to recognize Zeke, even as a middle aged man, watching him. So the implications of this are staggering. Like, the memories that they're looking at, they're actually physically there to some extent and can interfere and change the past, or perhaps influence the next reoccurrence of the same time loop. And this, of course, is asking some of the really big metaphysical questions of this series that have been hinted at only very slightly, like, of course, Eren's kind of prophetic dream right back at the start of the series that for a long time people thought was just kind of like a structural experiment, something that the author didn't really mean to return to. And then that very strange scene where Eren's father is saying goodbye to the spy um, who had helped him out to escape from the Marleyans' punishment, and was like, "Do it for Armin and Mikasa too." They're like, "Who the heck are Armin and Mikasa?" He's like, "I don't know. I just felt like saying that for some reason." So there's these weird time loop things, this ability of changing the past. And like, what does Eren know? Because at the end of this previous chapter, he's like, "All right, well, let's move on." Like, he doesn't seem confused by this, the fact that his father notices that they're there. He's like, "Let's move on to the next memory," as if these are just memories. I don't know. Okay, so it's chapter 121. Here we see a Titan surrounded by a whole bunch of other series, and including my beloved Flying Witch. I love Flying Witch so much. I guess this is the 10th anniversary of the magazine as a whole, or maybe the 10th anniversary of Attack on Titan. I'm not sure. I know Attack on Titan started sometime in 2009. So, anyways, yeah, we're getting into it. Here you're already 9 years old. Risha loves you and raises you freely. You're saying that he never brainwashed you or anything. So I told you, even before we started roaming inside Father's memories, it's a waste of time. Why did you betray me? You're forced to inherit Titan from Father without any explanation. You kept fighting just like you wanted. I think Eren just, for a long time, just genuinely wanted to kill all Titans, right? That was it from the start. Kill all Titans. But he didn't need anything more than that. He saw a Titan eat his mom. Now I'm gonna kill all Titans. Why do you refuse to let all the fighting end? What were you intending to do with the original Titan's power? Okay, well, this is the big question now. What is Eren's actual goals, if not the peaceful extermination plan? The only kind of ideological talk we've heard from him lately that seems sincere is when he's talking about freedom. But all he wants is freedom. So I think it must have something to do with that. But that's a very abstract concept. Sometimes a concept that's like paradoxically difficult or impossible to define. That he's going to make happen with just a gigantic army of titans and the ability to modify people's genetics. That was the same ever since I was born. The pursuit of freedom. There we go. All right, I guess I'm on the money here. But I mean, again, what does this mean? What does this mean? They're looking in Grisha, seeing these people killed. Seems like you would have thought that you and I were similar, but you're wrong. If others are going to steal my freedom, I would rather steal theirs instead. It's not my father who made me this way. I was like that since the day I was born. So this is the incident where Mikasa was attacked. They fought them off. And then Mikasa becomes like a de facto part of their family. Since you were born, pitiful little brother that you wish for so badly does not exist. Neither does a brother who shares your wounded heart. The only one you have is a man whose continual denial of his father's wishes of Eldian restoration is his only means of self-affirmation. Pitiful one, who is still his dead father's slave. So here, Eren seems to be admitting a couple things. First off, that he was never on board for Eldian restoration, which at this point doesn't really come as a surprise. He was just using that movement as he has many other movements and factions and stuff. But that, and this seems quite self-effacing, almost to the extent that it almost reads like sarcastic. That he's saying, all I have left is defying my father's wishes, which in a sense is still acting entirely based on my father's wishes, which makes me nevertheless just like a slave of my father, right? So this is, I think, him kind of summarizing what he's been going through up until this point, that all of his actions so far have been dictated by this logic, this denial, this rebellion, something, and now he's going to explain the next evolution, what he wants instead. In that case, this man is grateful to his father, since his father's actions have awoken the sun and helped him save the world from the danger posed to it by the Eldians. In a way, that father is the one who saved the world, which I think is quite an ironic story. So this is Zeke now still trying to convince Eren to come back to the peaceful extermination plan, right? What I like here, and in a lot of these scenes, but I think it comes across really nicely here, is that you can see the scene of the attack and the aftermath and Grisha talking to Eren and stuff playing out silently in the background. It's really well done. Because like these big kind of philosophical conversations, like they need to happen in order for the plot to kind of contain sensibility and stuff. So it's kind of interesting, like coming up with ways to depict them interestingly in a way that's still compelling and really uses the power of manga as a medium. So like you'll see, you know, a lot of kind of talking in like diagram space, talking about hypotheticals, flashbacks interwoven. But this one feels very fresh and new. This is just physically what is really happening. They're having this conversation at the same time as this other incident. And see, look at the payoff here. Eren watching himself put this iconic scarf around Mikasa's neck. Power of the original Titan is in my hands. Execute the merciful killing plan whenever I wish, but I will never abandon you. Just like Mr. Xavier never abandoned me. Before I save the world, I want to save you. Okay, so this is key too. Zeke actually is the one that's in control here. He can just like turn on the genetic flip already. This is really cool. I'm so impressed with like the experimentation and paneling and stuff in these recent chapters. Just these like individual frames with the dialogue kind of floating around it, I think just does a fantastic job. Humanity is not extinct. Quite the testimony left behind. And this, of course, is the super famous basement mystery. Puts it away, locks it up. And then here it seems like he's looking at Aaron. What is going on? Let's enter the Survey Corps. Of course, this is all conversations that either actually played out in a manga, I can't remember, or something that we know must have happened. Yeah, I think this happened in the manga. I can kind of remember him talking with this logic. No one continues doing it, then all those people who died until now died for nothing. This seems to be a fairly common ideology of this series, that the only way for a death to be in vain, the only way for a death to not be worth it, and for those people to have met like a glorious end, is to give up. It's only when you stop fighting for what those people were fighting for that they've really truly died, you know? Since when I come back, I will finally show you the secret I keep in the basement. Aaron's the secret of the basement. I bet it's really tasty candy. Or maybe a super gun that can shoot 1,000,000 titans. Really? Oh, so cute. Oh, this poor kid. Got a real tough life ahead of you. And of course, Grisha's not coming home. Not in any nice, calm, let's have a nice trip down to the basement fashion, but something worse is going to happen. It's a grim reminder time. Okay. Grisha heads off. Goes to the stronghold. Says the Historia family, right, the descendants of the original king and stuff. Just kill the titans that are attacking the walls right away, before my wife, my children, and all the people inside the walls are eaten alive. So they don't wanna. Things will just continue as they are. Faced with great power, humans are awfully weak. Familiar with the tragic story, the Great Titan War. Someone must protect the power of the Titans from falling into human hands. The power of the original Titan falls into weak hands again, the world will turn into hell once more. In order to protect the world, we took the sin upon ourselves, with no other choice but to perish. And this is sort of the mentality that Zeke has finally returned to. That there's really no alternative to this. This is how it has to be. Then we might as well just perish peacefully. It's a whole lot better than secluding yourself on this island behind a bunch of walls, waiting generation after generation for you to just eventually die. A horrific death from titans scrambling over the walls, or food shortages, or internal strife. Grisha is going to kill that entire family here. So you've seen this memory before, that you were very disappointed with father. Was that also a lie? And Aaron here has a very complex face. Very mad. Stole their memories, called being eaten by the Titan without even knowing why. Atonement. No matter how much we regret our deeds, us Eldians can never return those human lives we stole. To protect those humans who live outside the walls. We have knowingly just taken all the anger of the world upon ourselves. Having only us Eldians lose their lives will be enough. No one else will have to die. So this geopolitical martyrdom, it's an interesting idea. And again, you know what? Let's not even get into it. I was going to talk about real world analogies, but it's too complex at this point. There's no real world mapping that can account for all of the ideological arguments bound up in here. Ooh, and Grisha seems to be looking back at Aaron. Again, seems to be aware of it. There's been a few shots so far this chapter. They've never returned to this idea that, like, they're actually there, and that Grisha, perhaps only when close to falling asleep or whatever, is kind of dimly aware of them. But here and there, there's like really subtle indications that he can actually see what's happening. Waste your time trying to convince me otherwise. Even if you steal the power of the original Titan from me, you will not be able to use the power of the original Titan. Each of the 9 Titans has a distinct power, including the Assault Titan, whose power I possess. All of those who previously possessed the Assault Titan never obeyed anyone, and I know the reason why. It's always who opposed the king's self-righteousness for this very moment. Everyone was led to this very memory. What? How does he mean? How literally does he mean that? How literally does Grisha mean everyone was led to this very memory? Here I got my 2 sons from the future. You see them? I'm not going crazy, right? I'm only here because I kept seeing them follow me around through the years and thought they'd show up here. Okay, so the Assault Titan's power is that it can't be bossed around, basically. It's not just generic Fight Titan, but it actually possesses this counter thing, and it almost seems like this was a deliberate part of the schema, that there would be one Titan that could rebel against the commands of the others as kind of a countermeasure, as sort of a check and balance. Maybe? Is that what's going on? The Assault Titan can see into the memories of his future possessors as well. In other words, they can tell the future. Okay. So it's not that we're seeing Eren and Zeke interfere with the past, but that Grisha in the past was able to foresee what they would be doing and thinking. Okay. And this whole time, Eren has just been walking towards the royal family. What's the meaning of this, Eren? Assault Titan distinct power. I've never... I know that you were not aware of this. Because of the vow to renounce war, you cannot fully utilize the power of the original Titan. It's true for the entire family you included. I will take the original Titan and put an end to the royal bloodline. That future has already been decided. Okay, and then we knew about this. He Titanizes. He doesn't Titanize. Throws the scalpel down before he can cut himself. I can't do it. I can't murder children. But he did. He ended up doing it. The doctor, I save lives, not take them. So now the past is changing? Grisha did steal the original and killed that entire family. The past cannot change. That's an undeniable fact. So... what happened different this time than the first run through? Is it because Eren and Zeke are there? What does all this mean? Change. Changing the past. No, the original can't be defeated. Kill him. Cannot allow that man to live. Kill him, quick sister. Destroy our paradise. We must protect the family. She doesn't seem like she really wants to. Grisha resigning himself to this. He could just die. She seems like she's stealing herself. I just heard someone shout like woohoo really loud outside. I don't know if that picked up on the microphone. Get up, father. You forget what you came here to do. Okay, so now Eren is trying to... So, this could have... All of this could have happened the first time, too, actually. I guess. Right? That he actually required a vision of future Eren in order to go through with the killings that he can see via the Assault Titan. Okay. Alright. Sister Sister got eaten by dogs. Aren't you here to avenge her? Zeke is stunned. Aaron's behavior now quite inexplicable. So Aaron, I guess, knows that if the past gets changed, then they will not possess the power of the original Titan in the future, which would lead to some crazy time paradox where they couldn't have gone to the past to influence this stuff anyways. If the past changes too much, if Grisha just gets killed here, then Aaron never inherits the Assault Titan, in which case Grisha wouldn't be able to see Aaron's memories because you can only see the memories of future inheritors of the Assault Titan. So it would become quite a messy little time paradox. And I guess Aaron here is just like, oh my god, this is getting too complicated. You better just do it again. Just do it again. Just do it again. Right? He's doing it for the sake of plot cohesion. Or not. Or not. I'm not sure why he's doing it. Isn't this the legend you yourself started? Okay. So he's back to it. He Titanifies. Here we get the portly Grisha Titan. Not a great look, I don't know, but you know. Aaron's Titan looks a little cooler. The family is massacred, and in true Attack on Titan fashion, you can't off-screen it. You gotta have this shot of poor grandma reaching for the corpse in two pieces of her granddaughter. It's like the weight has to come through of all of these things. If they ever stopped doing this in Attack on Titan, if they ever stopped with these kind of gory shots, these shots of corpses, these shots of mourning, there wouldn't be kind of a soul to the series, you know? There wouldn't be that deep down kind of heaviness, the heaviness of the humans that really occupy it. Okay. So he detitanifies, stumbling away from the battleground. He's got the injection kit. Killed them. I crushed them, even little children, with my own two hands. I felt the texture of it. Killed the Rice family, all except the father. Is this enough? Are you happy now? So he really knew at that point that he was communicating with his son. He was communicating with the Aaron of the future. That the Aaron of the future was there to convince him to do it. It's not like he has some... I guess in the first time when he was confused, he wasn't sure if he was seeing Zeke. That was like because he expects only to have visions of his son, I guess, because he knows his son is the inheritor of the Assault Titan. I guess? I don't know. Can Eldia really be saved now? Why don't you show me all of it? The wall being destroyed, the day it's destroyed, if Carla will be safe. Was there truly no other way for me to take? He's still there. And we don't know if they're still there. This is the first time in all of these memory flashbacks where Aaron and Zeke aren't present somewhere in the frame. And I thought that was really well done, that they were just this constant kind of like lurking, ghostly figure in so many background shots. But now, where are they now? Zeke. Zeke is still here. From this point onward, what you wish for will not come true. What will come true is what Aaron desires. Poor Zeke. He's just had this look on his face for like the last 10 or so pages of just, oh shit, oh no, really, not like this. What are you saying? I saw Aaron's memories from the future. To think something so terrible would happen. So there was this one panel back here, a hand in a hand reaching down from a queen, Ymir, perhaps, like the original Titan. Eren kissing that hand here. This is the so terrible thing. Saw Eren's moves in the future. Zeke, is that really you? You've gotten so big. I'm sorry I was a terrible father. You suffered so much because of me. Oh, man. So in the end, will Zeke be taken in by this? Will he have a moment of touching reunion with his father? A moment of forgiveness? It looks like he might. He's totally on the emotional back foot. He's so thrown by everything that Eren has done in this chapter. Eren, who it kind of seems like had planned this all along, even though it seemed like he was a little iffy on what the Assault Titan did, or what would happen once he made contact with his brother. You know, when he was in the Evangelion space, he was pretty confused. What's with this tree? What's with Ymir wandering around here? Why do you have these chains? It seemed like he got tricked at that point. And then his brother started this whole Ghost of Christmas Past routine, but Eren knew already that he could modify things. He's like, oh, okay. Did he think of that at the moment? I'm gonna go back and make a bunch of changes. But so far he hasn't really made changes. He was it seems like he needed to have been there to make Grisha actually go through with the killing and taking the original Titan. So he would have had to have already done that. Oh my lord. Oh, I'm confused. My guys. Are you guys confused too? I'm a little confused, but it's okay. I can be confused about these sorts of details. I can be confused about I should be confused about what Eren is actually scheming, because that's the big mystery of the series right now. And the important thing is that I can still feel kind of the emotional hits of this. I can still see the significance of it. That's the important part, is that even when your audience is confused, you want them to be confused in a kind of like a whoa sort of way, and not just a huh sort of way. You know what I'm talking about? It's all about hitting that. So Zeke, embraced by his father at long last, the first time they've spoken, I'm sure, since Zeke ratted him out. Father Zeke, you must stop Eren. Okay. So here's Eren. He doesn't look like right of mind. About to kiss the hand of the original Titan. Okay. They fall out of memory. They're back in the Evangelion desert. Still haven't seen the part where I eat father. Who made Dad eat the king of the walls? Put us on the path to war with the world. So those memories they were seeing, Eren had already done that, I guess. I guess. I don't know. The Assault Titan can really go beyond time. You could show Grisha only those memories convenient for your goal, and in that way influence the past. Okay. Grisha was hesitant about his duty to the Restoration movement. He learned from your memories that he wouldn't be able to use the original Titan's power even if he stole it. But still, he stole the original Titan power and entrusted it to you, because he saw something further in the future. Something that lies there waiting, something that you showed him. Grateful you, brother. It's the fact that you brought me into Father's memories that set me on my current path. So Eren knew that someday Zeke would show him his father's memories. He saw that in the future. But I'm not sure how Eren sees the future, unless via the future holder of the Assault Titan, but as far as we know, there will be no future holder of the Assault Titan because something truly crazy is going to happen. He said that your wish will come true, not mine. Yes. I saw that 4 years ago in Father's memories. I saw the memory of my future self. So he saw his father's memory where his father was remembering Aaron's memory in the future, which he could see. Okay. That's a good trick. That's a really good trick. Life hack. Assault Titan life hack. Okay, so here, Aaron, this is Queen Historia, I guess. Just normal Queen Historia, I suppose. That view, Ancestor Ymir, make all Eldians unable to reproduce. Okay, so Zeke, I think, is just confused at this point. He's like, I don't know what the heck is going on. I don't know what you're planning for, what vision it is you're seeing. I don't know if we're supposed to know. I don't know if I'm supposed to figure out some significance of him kissing Historia's hand. Is it because then he makes contact with a member of the royal family, and then he can use the original Titan's power? But like, to do what? Like, what is like the actual outcome of this? Anyways, so Zeke, again, confused, like the rest of us, decides, okay, well, enough of this then. I mean, he's the one that still holds all the cards. He can tell Ymir to do this. And as far as we know, she will. And it's like over. Aaron lost, right? She's moving towards the coordinate. She said something to me. Told me to stop you. You regretted obeying you. Don't know what kind of view you saw in your father's memories, but it's impossible that you've seen it all, isn't it? For instance, it looks like you didn't know that you wouldn't be able to use the power of the original Titan in here. You're still powerless. Okay, so it really does seem like... Okay, so Aaron like understood the part of the plan where he was to go back, go through his father's memories and make some adjustments. That he knew he would someday be able to do. And he knew that he would be able to do this in service of some future that he saw his father remembering him remembering in the future. But he didn't really know the mechanics of the original Titan. He didn't know about this crazy Evangelion space. He didn't know that Ymir is just like wandering around here and you have to tell her to do stuff. All of this stuff he's like very unprepared for. Okay, so this is kind of interesting, right? Like we're really at the crux of it now. This is the thing. It all comes down to Aaron is stuck in these chains. He's got to get out of these chains. And this I actually really like as a kind of climactic moment. Because, you know, it's such a theme of freedom, being caged up, being locked away from the world, wanting to know what's out there, wanting to see the ocean. These threats, ominous, mysterious, that should be omnipotent, raging against them, defying the Titans, standing up for yourself and destroying them. To have your older brother at this point in time, saying you're still powerless, as Aaron screams and tries to yank himself away from these chains. Aren't these chains like magical? Like, shouldn't by definition the chains that Zeke tells Ymir to put on Aaron be chains that Aaron can't break out of? But he's doing it. He's trying it. and it feels like the series in a nutshell. I like it. What's going to happen? It's a powerful shot, too. I like how distorted Aaron's face is getting. It almost looks like his Titan form. Just in human form. Oh! Well, that worked. He's down a thumb. But he's off and running. Like, yeah, so Zeke is kind of my voice here of like, I don't think this should matter. This is all just sort of symbolic, magical type space. The very fact that you managed to mutilate yourself, slip out of the cuffs. Like, did you forget that your actual real body doesn't have a head anymore? Like, this isn't real life. Don't try to address this as a real life problem. Running towards Ymir, he's going to tackle this little girl to stop her from going over to the genetic programming tree I'm typing in no more babies. What? This is crazy. What's gonna happen? Nothing in this world can. Okay. It's the end of the chapter. This bloody guy Aaron trying to tackle this kid, and I don't know what his plan is. I don't know what he wants to do instead of this peaceful extermination plan. I don't know. I don't know. We gotta wait a bit to find out. I'll try to read that one a little sooner. I'll try to stay more on top of when it comes out. Yeah, this is quite a strange development. The series is going in very interesting places, but I think yeah, I don't know. Like, to me, what's cool is when they do these sort of going through the memories type stuff. Just the experimentation with like paneling, just this feeling of sort of emotions and scenes and isolation drifting through this void of memory. That's all really cool. And then contrasting that with some of these images being such classics of Attack on Titan, still very much in the mode that made this series so famous. Yeah, I don't know. This is definitely not the sort of content I would have predicted from the series, but it feels appropriate. It feels appropriate for where we are in the story. Okay, let's look forward to the next chapter. Bye for now.